So the transition elements, all the transition elements, whenever the combine with some other species, like the cobalt combine with the ammonia to form the cobalt tetramine, 4 moles of ammonia to form cobalt tetramine. These are the complex compound. This complex compound giving the specific color. And if you are using the nickel react with the fluorines to form the nickel tetrafluoride. So when all these compounds, when they react with some other molecules or atoms, they are giving the specific color. So it means all the d block elements are exhibiting color. Why these are exhibiting colors? We will discuss why they are exhibiting. The specific topic is there in the last top. The specific topic is there in this chapter only. We will discuss there. And these elements forms the complex with the variety of ligands. So complex, it forms a complex already. Whatever I shown you, this is the complex compound. Just a minute, I will explain. So K2Cr2O7, these are all our complex compound. It means the D block elements, cobalt, chromium or some other species which forms the complex compound like this. So ligand means the species which are sharing the pair of electron to the central metal atom called as ligands. NH3 is having the pair of electron, so this is a ligand. Cl minus having the one pair of electron. These species which are sharing the electron to the D block elements, either you may use the titanium, the vanadium, chromium, manganese. So these are species sharing the pair of electron to the D block element, that is called as the ligands. So when these D block elements are combined with these ligands, then they form the complex compounds. Russians. So not only the one ligands, the more number of ligands they are bonded. For example, the FeCN6, FeCl3, and the V2O5. So like this, the many species which are sharing the pair of electron toward the central atoms to form a complex compound. Now is this point clear, students? FeCN6. It is complex compound. This is the complex compound in which CN6 is the ligand. CN6 is the ligand because CN6 sharing one pair to the central atom Fe. Understood? Okay. And all the transition compounds which act as a catalyst. Why it acts as a catalyst? Some specific topic is there. How it acts as a catalyst. So these are act as a catalyst also, and these are the paramagnetic behavior. The unpaired electrons are present. So that's why it acts as a paramagnetic behavior. So these are the characteristics of the D block element we are going to discuss in this chapters. Now is it clear, students? Which attract the magnetic field, that is called paramagnetic. So what are the D block elements are there? The D block elements, the many element having the unpaired electrons or half filled electrons, right? So that's why it is strongly attract any species. Strongly attract towards itself. That is paramagnetic nature. It repels the magnetic field. If these electrons are completely filled here, it means here 10 electrons. It is completely filled means when species try to combine here, these all are completely fulfilled. So that's why it repels this species. Zinc is the So zinc d orbital, zinc d orbitals are completely fulfilled with 10 electrons. Diamagnetic. Now is it clear, students? Now is it clear, students? Okay. And this point indicate that whatever the d block elements are there, the d block elements are completely the opposite to the main group, that is the s block. S block also metal, S block also metal, and the D block also metal. So these metals are forming these special characters. These D block elements are forming these special characters. So that special characters are cannot exhibited by the S block element. So that's why the transition metals are opposite from the main group of the S block element. Right? Is it clear, students? Okay. Physical property. The physical property already know. These are the high strength, tensile strength, ductility, malleability, high thermal and electrical conductivity, and lustrous in nature. Physical property. So here the nature. So here the transition metals are very hard and low volatile in nature. So whatever transition metals are there, the transition metals are the compactly bond with each other. The transition metal compactly bond with each other. So that's why they are the hard and less volatiles. But the zinc, cadmium, mercury, in which the d orbitals are completely fulfilled here. Here the d orbitals are completely fulfilled with the 10 electrons. So that's 10 electrons. So that's why the one d orbitals and the next so one zinc atom or cadmium or mercury cannot compactly bond with the next atom. So that's why these elements are soft and volatile in nature. Second one, melting and boiling point. So melting and boiling point. The d block elements, the many elements except of the zinc, cadmium, mercury, all the elements having the maximum number of unpaired electrons. Unpaired electrons. Due to the unpaired electrons, the bonding must be strong. Bonding must be strong. The bonding strong means the bonding must be strong means the strength is increases here and the high melting point. One metal atom having this is the unpaired electrons, 5 unpaired electrons, and this is the 3, 4, 5 unpaired electrons here. So here what are the metallic atoms are there? The metallic atoms. So these the unpaired electrons, all are unpaired electrons. In this d block, all the metal having the unpaired electrons like this. If unpaired electrons are there means we called as a degenerate orbitals. It means equal energy. Degenerate means equal energy. So all the electrons in this orbital having the equal energy because unpaired electrons are present. Due to the unpaired electrons, these electrons are easily getting the nuclear attraction from the nucleus. They are easily getting the nuclear attractions from the nucleus, right? And these electrons are getting the nuclear attraction from here and as well as the next neighbor atom also. The metallic bond here stronger here. Metallic bond strong. Metallic bond strong means the metallic bond strong between these two species. So that's why it having the high melting point. High melting point because of the number of unpaired electrons getting the high nuclear attraction from their respective nucleus and the next neighbor atom nucleus. That's why it is having the strong strength and the strong metallic bond, and that's why it is a high melting point. high melting point of this metal attributed the involvement of the greater number of unpaired electrons n minus d. The addition ns electrons are the interatomic metallic bondings. So high melting point, the high melting point because of the unpaired electron present in the d orbitals. So d orbitals and as well as the ns electrons. So that's why it shows the high metallic bond. Due to the high metallic bond, the melting point is the bonding strong. Bonding strong means melting point is also high. Is it clear, students? No. अच्छा. Stability of the bond due to the number of but the d orbitals, अगर इनमें यहाँ अभी अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन है, यहाँ अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पर, राइट. तो इस तरह से अगर यहाँ पर सभी फर्स्ट से लेकर एक्स वाई से ले डी जेड स्क्वायर कंप्लीट अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेजेंट है. अगर अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन कंप्लीट प्रेजेंट है तो इसे हम कहेंगे डीजेनरेट ऑर्बिटल कहेंगे. डीजेनरेट मीन्स द सेम एनर्जी. सेम एनर्जी. सो अगर यहां पर सेम एनर्जी यहां पर प्रेजेंट है तो यहां पर क्या होगा, ये सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एनर्जी इनमें अगर सेम है तो सारे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहां पर न्यूक्लियर अट्रैक्शन यहां पर इस तरह से एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे यहां से न्यूक्लियर अट्रैक्शन. और साथ ही साथ तो ये क्या करेंगे, जो नेक्स्ट नेबर एटम है, जस्ट नेबर एटम का भी न्यूक्लियर अट्रैक्शन यहां पर गेटिंग करने की कोशिश करेंगे यहां पर. This means that the metallic फुल इलेक्ट्रॉन है. हाँ, तो नहीं, यहाँ पर देखो, यहाँ पर आप लोगों ने, हमने इसमें पढ़ा था पी ब्लॉक, सॉरी लास्ट ईयर द थर्ड चैप्टर पीरियोडिक क्लासिफिकेशन. तो वहां पर हमने पढ़ा था एस ब्लॉक विच एग्जिबिटिंग द मोर स्क्रीनिंग इफेक्ट देन पी showing the more screening effect than D showing the more screening effect than F, right. तो अगर आप इसे उल्टा कर दो तो अगर न्यूक्लियर चार्ज क्या होगा, तो न्यूक्लियर चार्ज F में ज्यादा होगा एज कंपेयर टू D में न्यूक्लियर चार्ज ज्यादा होगा एज कंपेयर टू P में ज्यादा होगा न्यूक्लियर चार्ज एज कंपेयर टू S. सो D में यहां पर वॉइस हर्षित, अच्छा, यू आर डांसिंग ना, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम ओके. अच्छा हर्षित, तो यहाँ स्क्रीन दिख रहा है आपको स्क्रीन. तो यहाँ पर द फर्स्ट ये वाला, यहाँ पर द स्क्रीन इफेक्ट ज्यादा है. एस ऑर्बिटल में स्क्रीन इफेक्ट ज्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू पी में स्क्रीन इफेक्ट ज्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू डी में स्क्रीन इफेक्ट ज्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू एफ. अगर इसको हम रिवर्स कर देंगे तो एफ ऑर्बिटल शोज द मोर न्यूक्लियर चार्ज देन डी. तो डी हैव ए मोर न्यूक्लियर चार्ज देन द पी एंड एस. इट मीन्स जब जो डी के जो इनर ऑर्बिटल जो है 1s2 2s2 2p6 3s2 3p, तो इनमें क्या होगा, इनमें स्क्रीनिंग इफेक्ट ज्यादा रहेगा और न्यूक्लियर चार्ज यहां पर कम रहेगा, और डी में न्यूक्लियर चार्ज यहां पर ज्यादा रहेगा, राइट. सो न्यूक्लियर चार्ज ज्यादा है की वजह से यहां पर क्या होंगे, मेटेलिक बॉन्डिंग. यहां पर जो मेटल है, जो मेटल में अगर अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन रहेंगे तो अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहां पर न्यूक्लियर अट्रैक्शन ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे यहां पर. अगर न्यूक्लियर एक्सपीरियंस ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे तो इनका तो यहाँ एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे, और साथ ही जो नेक्स्ट नेबर मेटल एटम है तो वहाँ का भी न्यूक्लियर अट्रैक्शन एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे, और दोनों एक दूसरे से इनका मेटेलिक बॉन्ड यहाँ पर स्ट्रांग हो जाएगा। मेटेलिक बॉन्ड, हाँ हेलो, हेलो, डी ऑर्बिटल, डी ऑर्बिटल, हाँ डी ऑर्बिटल में न्यूक्लियर चार्ज ज्यादा रहेंगे, स्क्रीनिंग इफेक्ट कम रहेगा यहाँ पर। दो मैंने ऑर्डर जो बताया था आपको, जो फर्स्ट ऑर्डर था स्क्रीनिंग इफेक्ट का, और सेकंड वो न्यूक्लियर चार्ज का। सो दैट्स वाई जहां पर न्यूक्लियर चार्ज एक्सपीरियंस करने की वजह से एटम एक दूसरे से यहाँ पर क्लोज हो जाएंगे। क्लोज होने के बाद यहाँ पर इनके बीच में मेटेलिक बॉन्डिंग स्ट्रांग होगा। मेटेलिक बॉन्डिंग स्ट्रांग होने की वजह से इनका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट भी ज्यादा होगा। राइट स्टूडेंट्स, इज इट क्लियर? स्टूडेंट्स, इज इट क्लियर? अरे हेलो, आई एम आस्किंग टू स्टूडेंट्स, स्टूडेंट्स, इज इट क्लियर? अच्छा, कैन आई मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड? Okay, one example I given here. The chromium example I am taking here. The chromium example, the chromium which contain the 5 ampere electrons and 4s1, 5 ampere electrons, 4s1. Right, friends? So these are getting the high nuclear charge from the nucleus. All the unpaired electrons from the d orbitals, are getting the more nuclear charge from the nucleus. Right. So due to the more nuclear charge, the both atoms are come close to each other and attain the strong metallic bonding between the chromium and chromium. So here this is the one of the figure here, students. From scandium to chromium, melting point increases due to availability of the unpaired electron. As a result, metallic bonding must be strong here. So look at here, students. These all are the metal. I think that this is the chromium which having the electrons. So it means these electrons, the dotted lines are the electrons. These electrons are getting the nuclear attraction from their respective atoms as well as the next atom. Due to that reason, the metallic bonding is strong between the first and the second atom. Metallic bonding is strong. Similarly, second and third atom, again metallic bonding is strong. Due to the strong metallic bonding, the melting point increases due to the availability of the unpaired electrons. Is it clear, students? Hello, Abhinay, Daksh, Harshit, Anup, and some other all the students. I'm asking to all the students. Hello. Why? Because of the diffuse state. The whatever the metals are there, the metals in which these are the diffuse state. These d orbitals are in a diffuse form. These are the orbitals are diffuse form. Due to the diffuse forms, these electrons are getting the more nuclear attractions from the nucleus as compared to s and p orbitals. Orbitals are the more diffuse forms. Here the d block element dxy, yz, zx, more diffuse form, more the spreading, more spreaded, or more the the nucleus. So but the electrons are either rotating in the between the x and y axis. It means loop. Okay, that's why I'm using only one. The either the electrons are rotating between the x and y axis, or yz axis, between the yz or between the zx. So electrons are here. The whatever electrons are there, they are rotating between the axis. In between the axis, they are rotating in between the axis. In which they are rotating the axis along the axis. Hmm? Hmm. Whatever the the s orbitals are there, s orbitals are started rotating in the spherical direction, and the p are rotating in the p orbitals electrons are rotating the along the axis dumbbell shape. So it means the the p orbital and the s orbital, the cannot the these are the these the s and p orbitals are the cannot the cannot restrict the cannot restrict the nuclear attraction of the d orbital electrons. So the s orbitals are started rotating in the spherical direction, and the p orbitals are rotating in the dumbbell shape, and it is rotating then p orbitals are rotating along the axis. Electrons are rotated along the axis, but it is in between the axis. So d orbital cannot experience that much of the repulsion from the p and s. So it shows the more nuclear charge here. Is it clear, students? Is it clear? Okay. But the Magnesh is a half filled. So, Magnesh is a half filled, the 3D shell. Here the 4s2 orbitals are completely filled, and the 3D in which the half filled. So half filled electrons tightly bonded with the nucleus. These half filled electrons are tightly bonded with nucleus. These half filled electrons are tightly bonded with the nucleus. Tightly bonded with nucleus. So that's why it does not show the additional bonding with the next atom. What are the half filled in the Magnesh, in which the 5 unpaired electrons are present here. 5 unpaired electron and 4s2. So these 5 unpaired electrons are strongly showing the nuclear attraction with their respective atom. It will not showing the nuclear attraction with the next atom. It not showing here. So that's why the Magnesh melting points decreases here. Magnesh melting points are less because of the less intermetallic bonding. Less interatomic bonding because of the whatever electrons are present here. These electrons are they are experiencing their respective nucleus attraction, not the next atom nuclear attractions. So here, so that's why the melting point of the magnesiums are decreased as compared to the chromium. Okay. Now is it clear, students? Okay. Next, iron to zinc melting points. Sorry. Again, the iron to zinc, the melting point decrease due to the unavailability of the unpaired electron. Result, the metallic bonding is weak here. Again, the iron to zinc metallic points are decreases due to the weak metallic bonding. Okay. So here in chromium there is a available of the unpaired electrons. Due to the available of unpaired electrons, it strongly showing the nuclear attraction with the available of unpaired electron is strongly showing the nuclear attraction with their own respective atom and their next neighbor atoms. So the intermetallic bonding is strong here, so that's why it having the high metallic bonding. Due to high metallic bonding, it have a high melting point. But in case of the here, so these are magnesium which cannot show the intermetallic bonding because of all the unpaired electrons just they are attracted toward the respective atoms, not the neighbor atom. So that's why these are showing the less melting point. Again, the melting points are decreased here from iron to zinc. Here. So this is the graph, students. So here the melting point increases, again decreases, again little bit increase, and then decrease here. So similarly the same in the fifth period and the sixth period of the element. Next is the enthalpy of atomization. Enthalpy of atomization means amount of energy required to form one atom from the respective metal, called as enthalpy of atomization. Okay, wait. Okay, please student don't write on the screen. Just erase this one. Friends, erase it. Yes. Yes, friends. TC. Technetium. Technetium. Same reason. What are the reasons I explain here? The same. Same here. Yes. Yes. Osminium. 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 Decreasing because the intermetallic bonding as the number of electrons get paired in the d block element, d block orbital, right? Okay. So here the metal atom, the metal. So if you want to remove the one atom from this metal, if you want to remove one atom from this metal, then what are the amount of energy required? That amount of energy we call as the enthalpy of atomization. So greater unpair d orbital electron, greater is the bonding. Already we know that the unpaired electrons are increased, intermetallic bondings are increased. The intermetallic bondings are increased, greater will be the strength, and if strength is greater means the high energy required to remove the one atoms from their respective metal atoms. Metal atoms, if they having the strong interatomic bond between the having the strong intermetallic bonding. If intermetallic bonding is strong, then it is the high energy required to dissociate, to separate the metal atom. So what are the energy required to separate them? That energy we call as the enthalpy of atomization. So chromium, molybdenum, tungsten, the great number of unpaired electrons in their d orbitals, therefore they are very hard and their enthalpy of atomization is also very high here. So maximum the middle of the each series indicate the one unpaired electron in the d orbitals, the particularly the favorable, the strong interatomic interactions. If maximum number of electrons are present in the middle of this chromium, molybdenum and tungsten, maximum number of unpaired electrons are present in the chromium, molybdenum as well as the tungsten. So that's why the between the chromium or between the molybdenum, between the tungsten, there is a strong intermetallic bonding is there. So that's why these are show the high at enthalpy of atomizations. Okay. Is it clear, students? Atomization means the formation of atom from its respective metal. That is called atomizations. Process of formation of atom. Process of form. So metal in which the many atoms are present. Okay. We want to separate this one atom from this metal atom. How much amount of energy required to remove this? What are the amount of energy required to remove this one metal atom from from this metallic sheet? That is we call as a atomization. Okay. So great number of valence electrons, stronger is the result in the bonding. So bonding is strong, atomization is also strong here. So one more the important property of the enthalpy atomization. Enthalpy atomization is help to determine the standard electrode potential of the metal. So here this enthalpy atomization is helpful to determine the standard electrode potential of the metal. It means the metal undergoes, is it oxidation reactions or the reduction reaction will take place. That one explain with the help of the enthalpy of atomizations. Electrode potential value depend upon the enthalpy of atomization. The enthalpy of atomization higher, enthalpy of atomization is higher will be the redox potential, and that thus it will be the more tendency undergoes the reductions. I will show you here. Okay, look at here. So yes, students, here from the solid metal atom convert into gaseous metal. Student, please stop writing, students. I'm requesting all the students, please stop writing on the screen. Students, please erase this one. Okay, if you are not interested, please leave the class, otherwise interrupt here. Hello students. If you are not interested, please leave the class, otherwise don't interrupt class, students. Yes, Abhinay, Priyanshi, Abhishek. Manoj, Priyansh Gupta, Marian Sir, Tushar, Duzefa, Muskan Gupta, Anup Kumar, Aman Kumar, Vedant Mishra, Mantasha, Harshit Mishra, Akhand Pratap, Nancy Rathod, UDCA, and Prithvi Gupta, Binod. Hello? Why you are writing on the screen? Okay. But someone has sent here message, na? Vinod is writing on the screen. Someone outside the name of the Vinod name, outsider, remove him. Yes, bro. Hello? You? No. Okay, students. For the determine the electrode potential of the metals, first we have to convert. The first step we have to convert solid metal atom to the gaseous atom. That is the metal atom to the gaseous atom. That is we call as the enthalpy of atomization. And gaseous atoms in which we have to remove one electron. That process is the second ionization enthalpy. And the ionized element or ionized metal ions in which the undergoes the hydration will be occurs. Hydration means the metal ions having the n plus oxidation state, which have a tendency to attract the amount of water molecules, number of water molecules, that is we call as the enthalpy of hydrations. During the enthalpy of hydrations, they are when water molecules are come close to the metal ions, they are liberating amount of heat. That is the exothermic process. So the first we have to be, the first three values are positive. And the enthalpy of hydration is the negative, because the water molecules are come closer to the metal ions, they are liberating amount of heat. So that's why we are the overall the process the more favorable. The delta H is less negative and delta H is less positive and more negative. If delta H is the less positive and more negative means, that is more negative means it is a favorable process, and the metal undergoes oxidation reaction will be take place, not a reduction reactions. So in this method we have to determine the electrode potential of the metal. What are the d block elements are there? D block elements undergoes oxidation reaction will be take place, not a reduction reactions. So with the help of enthalpy of atomization, we have to be determine the electrode potential of the metal. So it means all the metals undergoes oxidation reaction will be take place, not a reduction reaction. Is it clear, students? Hello? No, is it clear? Hello? No. अच्छा, no. अच्छा, हाँ. Okay, students, mute yourself. Please, student, mute yourself. Okay. The standard electrode potential is the sum of enthalpy of atomization, enthalpy of ionization, and hydration enthalpy. Right. If you are using the enthalpy of atomization value, ionization enthalpy, and the hydration enthalpy. So if we add all these three value, enthalpy of atomization, second one the ionization energy, and third one is the hydration enthalpy, right? So after adding this all the value, if we got the delta H value, delta H value here. Delta H value is negative. Delta H value is the negative. The negative which indicate that it undergoes the oxidation reaction will take place, not a reduction reaction. Now is it clear? Vinay? It's releasing exothermic. G, where is G? Yeah, G. Yes. Hello. Yes. Where is G? Which one you are telling about? यहाँ जो मेटल एटम है, जो मेटल एटम जो मैंने आपको बताया था, जो मेटल एटम को आप यहाँ बाहर निकालोगे, एक मेटल एटम को आप बाहर निकाल दोगे सॉलिड से, ये जो मेटल एटम जो बन गया, तो उसका स्टेट जो गैसियस स्टेट, यस, वो स्टेट है, स्टेट गैसियस स्टेट. Gaseous state, the metal is in gaseous state, it turns into ion. Gaseous state of the metal which turns into ion. Right? Now it is clear, students? Yeah. Hello? Now is this point clear? Abhinay? Electropotential, right, plus ionization enthalpy, plus ionization enthalpy and plus hydration enthalpy. This here, the sum of enthalpy of atomization, ionization, and hydration enthalpy. We are substituting all this value. Delta H is negative. Negative means negative. It will be oxidation reaction. The metal undergoes the oxidation. Electropotential. So if the delta H value is negative, means the electrode, whatever the metal atoms are there, the metal undergoes the oxidation reaction. Oxidation reaction takes place. So okay, metal which having the very high enthalpy of atomizations, very high boiling point, and that the second and third series also follow the same process of the enthalpy of atomizations corresponding to the first series. The second and third series, whatever the second and third series are there, that is the four-d orbital series and the 5d orbital series, which also is also having the. So mute yourself, students. Okay. Fourth series. Hello. Second and the third series, which also show the greater enthalpy of atomization than the first series. So this is the enthalpy of atomizations here. The graph of the enthalpy of atomizations. Scandium, titanium, vanadium. Sorry, titanium, vanadium, chromium. Like this. Why second and? Okay, because the when we are move to top to bottom, metallic characters are again increases. Metallic characters are increased. Metallic character increase means the metallic bonding is more stronger than the first series, right? So that's why the second and third series which having the higher enthalpy automation as compared to the first series, because the as you move top to bottom, metallic characters are increased here. Metallic characters are increased means the metallic bonding is stronger between the next metal atom. So enthalpy automation is here higher than the first series. Is it clear? Understood. Okay, you can hear the graph. So now students ask me your doubts. It is the 5 minutes are left. Okay students, you ask me your doubts, students. Hello. Okay, हाँ मीट हाँ हाँ आयुष अभी नहीं. Third point is the same. That is the occurrence of much more the frequent metal bonding is stronger here. The second answer is the metallic bonding is stronger. Second and third series metallic bonding is here stronger here. Okay. The important factor the right. Now today we have completed the melting point and enthalpy atomization. Okay students, the delta delta is atomization. Next continue. Yes, Abhinay, yes. Delta H was it is enthalpy of atomization, enthalpy of ionization, and the hydration enthalpy also we have indicated here. Right? Enthalpy of atomization, delta Hi, and enthalpy of ionization, and delta the hydration here. Delta Hi like this, delta H, Hy, hydration. Okay, students, do you have any doubts, students? Yes, ask me. Finish. The 5 minutes are left. It is only for one atom. For removing one atom, that is enthalpy of atomization from the metal atoms. If you want to remove the one, if you are using the one thin metal sheet in which I want to remove the one metal atom. So that purpose, what is the energy required? That is enthalpy of atomization. It is. Which one? Previous slide. Huh? यहाँ MS metal solid है, metal solid. इसे हम आयनाइज क्यों कर रहे हैं? इसे आयना इसे कर रहे हैं, इसलिए कर रहे हैं क्योंकि इसके अंदर हाइड्रेशन हो पाए, हाइड्रेशन। अगर अच्छा अच्छा सुनो एक मिनट। जब मेटल में से मुझे इलेक्ट्रॉन एलिमिट करेंगे, एलिमिट करेंगे हम मेटल में से इलेक्ट्रॉन एलिमिट करेंगे, तो एलिमिट करने के लिए जो अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी चाहिए, यहाँ पर एनर्जी चाहिए, जो एनर्जी चाहिए उसको मैं यहाँ पर लिख दे रहा हूँ, दैट इज द डेल्टा H2 लिख दे रहा हूँ मैं, राइट। अच्छा, सो टेल मी, यहाँ जो इलेक्ट्रॉन हम एलिमिट कर रहा हूँ, तो मुझे जो एनर्जी चाहिए वो हम यूज यहाँ पर यूज कर रहे हैं उस एनर्जी को। तो आयन आयन जब आयन्स बन जाएंगे, यहाँ पर आयन्स बनने के बाद जब एलिमेंट होगा, तो एलिमेंट तो क्या करेगा, एटमॉस्फेयर में जो वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स होंगे, वाटर मॉलिक्यूल को अपनी ओर अट्रैक्शन करेंगे। अट्रैक्शन करने के बाद यहाँ पर इससे एंथैल्पी ऑफ हाइड्रेशन हो जाएगा यहाँ पर। हेलो, हेलो। तो यहाँ पर द हाइड्रेशन एंथैल्पी होगा। तो इन सभी का वैल्यू हम अगर यूज करेंगे, इन सब का वैल्यू अगर हम यूज करेंगे, सबका वैल्यू, तो जो यहाँ पर जो डेल्टा H का वैल्यू होगा, डेल्टा H का वैल्यू, ओके स्टूडेंट्स। हर्षित, ओके स्टूडेंट्स। हेलो, okay, who is playing the sound here? Who's making this noise? Huh? Hello? 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 Who's this? Judith here? Who's this? अच्छा, हेलो। Okay, students. Okay. Okay. If you have any doubt, then send me on the WhatsApp group, students. Okay. Fine. Bye. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತದ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.